Allow me to set the stage. Picture, if you will, a young girl, her eyes wide as saucers, watching her father weave worlds from nothing but a fan and a flick of his wrist. His art was Rakugo, a stage his castle. But alas, a great shadow fell, a master's harsh judgment, a father's dream cut down in its prime, expelled, cast out from the school he loved. Years pass. The girl, Akane, is no longer a child. Under the moon she trains in secret, her heart burning with a single fiery passion. She will step onto that very same stage. She will master the stories. She will become a Shinoichi, the highest rank, and in doing so clear her father's name. This, dear audience, is not merely a tale of revenge. It is the story of a voice that will refuse to be silenced. So sit back and listen closely, for the performance is about to begin. Spiraken Manga Review, episode 607. Hello and welcome to an episode of the Spiraken Manga Review. I'm your host, Zan, saying konnichiwa, aloha, buongiorno, and what's up? Hope you're doing good and hope you're excited for another fun-filled episode of this awesome podcast you can find at www.spiraken.com. We're also on YouTube, Spotify, Stitcher, and various other social media sites. Just type in SPIRAKN in any search engine. I guarantee you find us one way or the other. I hope you had a great Thanksgiving. Hope it was fun. Mine was pretty interesting. My family came down. It was very odd. And also, I became a little older because, for those of you who don't know, my birthday was this weekend, and I am now a little bit older, a little wiser, and a little more obsessed with manga. But that's how the breaks work. That's how being a manga fan is. But if you're watching on YouTube, remember to like, share, subscribe, and as always, click on that bell for notification for when we release new episodes. And with that in mind, let's actually get to it, because if you remember from the last episode, I spun that one, that only, the Wheel of Manga. And it did turn to be that reviewing a manga, well, that is focusing on a very niche topic. And what topic are we talking about? We're talking about Rakugo. And what is the manga we're talking about? Akane-Banashi. And this was a manga that is written by Yuki Suenaga and illustrated by Takamasa Moue. And in order to explain this manga, I have to explain what Rakugo is. Rakugo is this form of storytelling that is pretty popular in Japan, was originated in Japan, and the whole premise is a lone performer called a Rakugoko shows up, stands in the middle of the room, sits down, and tells a very long, convoluted, and usually funny story involving multiple characters who are distinguished by their tone change in tone, their pitch, turning of the head, their body language, and their body movements, all while the Rakugoka sits in place. And this is a really popular form of entertainment that has slowly been dying out over time. And there are multiple ranks that you can actually be in this. It starts off as an apprentice, then you become a Zenza, then a Futatsumi, and then last but not least, the highest rank, which is a Shinoichi. And that is, so pretty much from apprentice to a master, these are how you become a Rakugoka. And this is the story of Akane and her father. Because, like most kids, her father is her hero. And her father was a Futatsumi Rakugoko, pretty much a guy whose job is to tell stories and do funny things. And Akane loves her dad, loves him completely, wants to be like him, and he is the best thing ever. However, being an entertainer is not really looked fondly with in Japan. A lot of people look down on this, and this leads to a lot of problems, like her classmates making fun of her dad, and her wanting to defend him, which leads to tons of people causing problems, schools calling parents, and unfortunately, when she beats up kids, he has to go and fix the situation when she gets into a fight with students. And he's a pretty good dad, but he's there for her, but he loves his daughter. And his daughter is his biggest champion ever. She thinks he hung the moon, and he's amazing. And he's okay at his job. He's very good at the voicing and the acting, and the storytelling could be fixed, but he does what he can. And he actually has a ranking class coming up. This is a competition where anyone who wants to go up in rank does their action. They do a set, and if they do amazing, they get promoted to Shinoichi. And this is what her father, Shinto, wants, because he's worked really hard at this. And Akane really wants to do what she can. And his whole family is going to be there, and this is going to be really cool. He's really excited for this. He's worked really hard because he wants to make his daughter proud. And whenever he gets up and does his bit, his daughter sees different people there. Instead of seeing her dad, she sees the angry shopkeeper who's going to beat up the guy who steals the girl, or the wife who's dealing with her drunk husband. And she's enraptured by this unique talent, which, if you've ever seen a stand-up comic tell a story and they change characters, sometimes you could see the moment where they're like, there's someone else. Example, Gabriel Iglesias, Fluffy. Whenever he does his voice pitches, you could see he's talking to the old Hawaiian guy in the Hawaiian episode, or the cop who's going to arrest him when he has the donuts. It's a mark of a true craftsman and someone who's actually very good at their job. And that's the case with her dad. Her dad is really good, and she thinks he is. And she wants to learn how to do this. Her mom, who has a real job, is like, well, you could do something else, but she wants to be just like her dad. And then the master of the Arakawa school comes to the competition. His name is Issho Arakawa, and he's the top-ranked headmaster of the Arakawa school, the greatest Rakugo of his generation, and he is going to be judging the different applicants for the Shinoichi exam. And as he watches everyone do things, everyone's a little nervous, and Shinta, her dad, is nervous. And eventually, due to Akane's cheering for him, he does the set. And he becomes the cool, capable guy that could be there. And people start seeing that he is really good. Like, he's changing some elements of the stories, but he's making it his own, and people love that. He gets a standing ovation because he's so engaging and he keeps the audience engaged. And this means he's totally up for it. He's going to get it. He's going to do great. However, after the tournament, after the examination, Arakawa is like, yeah, you know what? All you sucked. I'm going to expel every single person I saw today. They're all expelled. I don't know what that was, but it wasn't Rakugo. And this is heartbreaking. It's tragic. You work hard for something, and someone who's a critic tells you, nope, you're not good enough. You're not a real person. You're something else. This could destroy a person. This is pretty much, you worked hard your entire life to do something, and they told you you're worthless. It's a tragic moment. If you've ever had that moment, it's sad and heartbreaking. And Shinta, it breaks him. And he ends up becoming just a salaryman working at a thing. He's doing good at his job, but the spark that made him him is gone. So what does Akane do? Akane ends up going to the Arakawa school and signs up to become the best she can be and become a Shinoichi to show her that her father's work was just as good. And that's what she's going to do. That's what she is going to do. She is going to be that awesome person that she is. And that's what the story's about. It's about a daughter's love for her dad and her becoming a Shinoichi and her working up the ranks of being a comedian. And her conveying the awesome storytelling of being a Rakugo-ko. And that's what this story is about. It's about this very unique and niche, comedy sketch and what happens with it. And it's a story of a girl who loves her dad and wants to succeed and vindicate his existence because of a jerk who's not a jerk, who's an authority who says, you can't change things up, you gotta stay traditional. And that's what the story's about. It's a very unique story. It's an interesting story. It is a very niche story. I'm not going to lie. It's one which is extremely niche. If you don't know what Rakugo is, you're going to have no idea what's going on. I had to look this up, watch videos to get information on it. The art style is really well done. The characters, some are really good, other ones are not developed at all. But the story is there, the concept is there, and the fact they're making an anime next year should make this a little bit more easy to understand. I have to watch it. It's currently being released by Viz. You can get it at any bookstore. But for me personally, I'm going to have to say this is a Get from me Crazy Aunt Muriel. It's okay, but in the end, forgettable. Because it's super immersive. It gets really deep into Rakugo culture. And if you like Rakugo, you will be fascinated. Every character's motivations for why they're doing what they're doing is very different. And each one is just as compelling as the other person. Her master, Shinta Arakawa, who her dad, the reason why he wanted to do this was really important. Now he's selling concrete. Then you have why Ishio Arakawa did what he did. There's a reason for it. It's kind of fascinating, but you want to know more about it. And the performances are brilliantly conveyed. The scenes when you have the Rakugo, it actually draws you in. It's not like Shinta Shoten, where it was, oh, here's the two-person comedy sketch where we're like, this is weird. This, you read about it and you get into it. But on the same token, this is a very, very, very niche subject, and that is kind of a con of this. It's a very niche subject. It's very methodical pacing. There's limited cast development outside Rakugo. Like there's, you know, a little bit about her mom and about the kids who bully her, but that's it. You don't know about the world in general or the people who are following them. She doesn't have a army of fans. It's just her circle of the people she's with, which generally would be good, but in this situation, you want to see more of the characters, the cast outside of the group developing somehow. But yeah, so the tropes are going to be it's revenge through success. She's going to redeem her dad by becoming better than the master. It's the prodigal's journey. She's starting from step A, trying to get to step D. And then, of course, you have the mentor apprentice relationship with her and her master, who is Shigumi Arakawa, who is the one who was her father's master, who still thinks that she has chops. And I think one of the funniest moments is that she's been sneaking off to him this entire time to learn how to become a Rakugo. And then he eventually says, you know what? Before we make this real, let's talk to your mom. And he goes to the mom, and she's like, yeah, I knew the entire time. This wasn't a secret. He's like, wait, what? It's like, yeah, she doesn't keep secrets from me. It's like, wait, that's different. Because most times it's like, oh, this person is evil. But it's like, no, she loves her dad, and we knew this was going to happen. So I kind of like that element. There are some great characters in this, but overall is very much to quote the parts of the time, very mid. Could be better, could be worse, but if you've read this, let me know your thoughts. Email me, zanspiraken.com, or tweet me at Spiraken. Let me know if you agree with me or disagree with me on this, or if you thought that it was a little bit more better than I thought, or if you thought it was more boring. Let me know. But with that in mind, let's actually get to the manga releases for the week, and we got some really fun ones and some really bizarre ones. So let's get to it. So first off, we got 100 Ghost Stories That Will Lead to My Death, Volume 4. A Sentence of a Bookworm. I'll Do Anything to Become a Librarian, Part 4. Then we have A Sentence of a Bookworm. I'll Do Anything to Become a Better Librarian, Volume 2, Short Story Collection. This is light novels. Then we have Boss Bitch Baby, Volume 1. By the Grace of the Gods, Volume 15. Camping in Another World, My Absurd Skills, Omnibus 3. Chainsmoker Cat, Volume 1. Don to Don, Volume 16. The Devil Princess, Light Novel 2. Don't Hold Back Lord Hades, Volume 2. Fly Me to the Moon, Volume 30. Jean Bride, Volume 3. Girl Crush, Volume 4. Gushing Over Magical Girls, Volume 6. The Guy She Was Interested in Wasn't a Guy at All, Special Edition 1. This is a pretty cool version. It's very limited edition, definitely worth getting. Then we have Hokkaido Gals Are Super Adorable, Omnibus 1-2. We've got How to Not Summon a Demon Lord, Volume 23. Invaders of the Rukotoma, Collector's Edition, Volume 13. Isekai Tensei Recruited to Another World, Volume 3. And this is the manga, not the light novel. Then we have Kill Blue, Volume 4. Kin Porsche, light novel 5. Homie Can't Communicate, Volume 36, the final volume. That's it. That's all she wrote. This is the last volume of Homie Can't Communicate. Will she get 100 friends? Will everything work out? Well, you got to read it to find out. Then you have the special edition Lone Wolf and Club, a deluxe edition. This is a hardcover that is gigantic. It is the common deluxe editions. This looks beautiful. I love the very classic art style to the cover, and This I'm definitely buying. They have Love Bullet Volume 1. What if you gave Cupid a gun instead of a bow and arrow? This is kind of funny. Got The Magnificent Bastard, The Legend of Kenji. This is a Keiichiro Ryu manga, so this is very old school. We've got Mi-chan Wants to Be Kept, Volume 3. Minecraft the Manga, Volume 4. Mobile Suit Gundam, The Origin Deluxe, Volume 3. My Quiet Blacksmith Life in Another World, Volume 1. No Longer Allowed in Another World, Volume 10. Oshinoko, The Coloring Idol, Color Activity Book. This is a special edition coloring book. Got Otaku Elf, Volume 10. Pandora in the Crimson Shell, Ghost Urn, Volume 21. Parallel Paradise, Volume 24. Persona 5, Volume 14. Pokemon Sword and Shield, Volume 14. Rainbows After Storms, Volume 7. Rascal Does Not Have a Sister Home Alone. Spider-Man Kitsune, Volume 2. A Tale of the Secret Saint, Volume 9, the novel. The Unwanted Undead Adventurer, Volume 12, this is the manga. World End Salt, Volume 4. And last and certainly not least, we've got You Like Me, Not My Daughter, Volume 7. These are the manga releases for the week. We've got some really good ones, some really dark ones, and some which are really pervy. A lot of Volume 7, surprisingly. But for me, my top 5 are going to be Chainsmoker Cat, Volume 1. Lone Wolf and Cub, the Deluxe Edition. Love Bullet, The Magnificent Bastard, and the Oshinoko Coloring Idol Color Activity Book. These ones look really cool, and they're pretty awesome. These are the ones I'm most excited about. But what are the ones you're excited about? Let me know. Email me, zan@spiraken.com, or tweet me at Spiraken. Let me know your thoughts. And before we go any further, I'd like to thank each and every one of you who are checking out this podcast. Every email I get, every comment I get, every new mention, it gives me more motivation to keep doing this. So keep subscribing, keep liking, keep talking to me, and just keep engaging. It gives me motivation. I love doing this, and I want to keep doing this until at least I'm 100 reading mangas with thick glasses and loving this. I want to see different things and read all I can. But let me know your thoughts. Anyway, a couple of other updates before we get to that part you've all been waiting for is one, because officially I will be 45 next year, I've got a weird, interesting idea that I'm going to be doing. Because people really did like the Spiraken Book Club, even though a couple of the later episodes were never released fully because of reasons. I did them as lives and then there were errors. Not going to get into it, but we're going to be releasing them officially. What I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be doing for the next year, I'm going to be reviewing 45 books. 45 books for 45 years. Kind of makes sense. These are not mangas. That's not including mangas. I'm still going to be doing the manga review. That's still going to be there. But I'm also going to be doing the Spiraken Book Club, talking about these different books one at a time. What's the order I'm going to be going in? Well, I was debating about it because the way I did the Spiraken Book Club was a little bit weird, and some people commented that's an odd way to do your reviews. So instead, what we're going to do is very simple. I'm going to be doing it in order of last name, but here is the caveat. I am actually starting with W. I'm going to go W, X, Y, Z, then A through it twice. That's the plan. That way we kind of can mix things up a little bit, get some episodes up, and more importantly, we're going to get a nice little range of different titles. The only bad part is that finding ones like X were kind of difficult. I mean, obviously the first one you're going to be doing, if you're doing X, if you think about it, it's going to be Third Body Problem, because Third Body Problem is, well, actually, no, Third Body Problem starts with Lin Shin. So, no. So I have to find another one for X. So we got to find someone who has an X last name, probably a G or a Zhu or a Zin or a Savior. We're going to find something. But let's see what we can do. If you have any nominations for X, let me know, because I'm starting off with W. So we're going W, X, Y, Z. But I'm going to start off with Andy Weir. Because the movie's coming out, I think I'm going to start off with Project Hail Mary. We'll see how it goes. I'll be releasing them probably in 1 week intervals. A week and a day, give or take, so they're never going to be the same day. But when I release it, we'll talk about it. I'll give you my thoughts on the book, on what I think about it. Yeah, today is the 3rd, but I started reading yesterday, so I started it, and basically I'm liking the book. The first-person style I'm still getting used to, but it is pretty cool. Anyway, I digress. What else is, we're doing a couple of things, applying a couple of conventions, so we'll have some more conventions next year, and let me know your thoughts on some other things you want to do. Do you want to see me do movie reviews again? Do you want me to do some other reviews? Let me know. Email me at zanspiraken.com or TweetSpiraken. And with that in mind, let's get to the part that you have all been waiting for. And what are we talking about? We are talking about that one, that only, the Wheel of Manga! Yes, friends, the Wheel of Manga, except no substitute. Now, what is the Wheel of Manga? The Wheel of Manga is a Wheel of Fortune with 10 slots on it. What I've done is I've assigned a manga title to each of 10 slots. So we're going to spin the wheel. Whatever number it lands on, that's the manga review in the next episode of the Spiraken Manga review. And honestly, I'm kind of excited to see what we're going to review this week. Because we got some really good titles. I've added a couple things, and some which I'm a little perplexed by. But let's spin and see what we're going to review the next episode, shall we? And I just start taking bets for which one people think is going to be the one I'm going to spin in the next episode. I'm hoping for number 1, honestly. Or number 10. That's crazy. I actually did not set that up. But guess in the next episode I'm going to be reviewing Tower Dungeon. Wow, I honestly didn't fucking expect that. But in the next episode, I'm reviewing a manga by the creator of Blame and Knights of Sidonia. Is this going to be good? Is it going to be bad? Well, we're going to have to wait and find out. But as usual, I am your host, Zan. I am Gonzville. Catch you guys next time, and keep reading manga. I'll see you later.